Pastor Mensa Otabil inspires revolutionary leadership at Central Aid events. The International Central Gospel Church ICGC hosted a transformative event featuring its General Overseer, Pastor Mensa Otabil, as the keynote speaker. Addressing the gathering, Pastor Mensa Otabil delved into the complexities of problem solving, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness in tackling challenges. He further emphasized the need for revolutionary leadership and transformational governance, sparking a renewed sense of purpose among the attendees. A past beneficiary of Central Aid shared insightful experiences highlighting the organization's mission to provide financial assistance to the poor and needy. Dr. Albert Roxin, Executive Director of Central Aid, reaffirmed Pastor Otabil's sentiments. He emphasizes on how committed the scheme is in empowering individuals with great potential, particularly those in need.
I'm Dr. Albert Roxin III, the Executive Director of Central Aid, which is a human development-oriented agency of the International Central Gospel Church, established in 1988, first as a safety net for the teeming youth who had completed basic education and wanted to pursue secondary technical and vocational education, but they didn't have the means. And so the church stepped in to provide financial assistance to them so they could pursue secondary technical education. Eventually, we extended it to the tertiary level. This lecture was put together, first of its kind, by the Central Aid to establish the fact that investing in people, especially in their education, is key and critical to our national development. And we focused on thought leadership because it's important that the various sectors of the economy have people who are experts in certain fields, who are authorities in those fields, who have in-depth knowledge and insight and innovative ideas that can help our country and our continent to develop. And so we need people who can command authority and profess solutions to all the challenges that we have. And so looking around as the first lecture, we couldn't find anybody who could do that other than Dr. Mensa Otabil, who is a thought leader himself in so many areas. And he shared very, very eminent points with us that would help us if we can all collectively apply them. And of course, we had Mrs. Lucy Quest, who is a past beneficiary of the scholarship that the church offered in her secondary school days. She's become a thought leader in telecommunications. She used to be the MD of Airtel Ghana Limited and moved on to become the managing director of Morgan Stanley in the UK. And she served on various boards internationally. She's a global icon, and she also shared her own experiences growing up and how the scholarship helped her to become who she is. And so this is a big challenge to us as a nation, as a continent, that we build the human capacity that we need, identify various areas of our economies, and apply the in-depth knowledge that we have to change the system and to change the way we approach things. And listening to Dr. Otabil, it was so awesome. It's not just what we see. What we see nowadays are just the symptoms, but they are deep-seated challenges that we need to address. And he talked about culture, and the culture didn't mean dancing and music and the food we eat and all of that. It's all about our worldview and how we have seen ourselves and how we have conducted ourselves and all of that, So he proffered about 4 solutions. One of them was accuracy and precision, a culture of accuracy and precision, where we are very, very mindful of what we do, making sure they are accurate and precise. And he cited an example of even time management is an issue for us. And the second thing was a culture of future-mindedness, that we shouldn't just be looking at the present situation and just prefer solutions for the present. Sometimes you think that you are solving a current problem and then you create more problems for the future. So whatever we're doing, we must look into the future as well. He also talked about the culture of trust. If we have to work together collectively, we need to trust each other. We don't seem to trust ourselves. And the current situation we find in our country, politically we are divided, ethnically we are divided, too much mistrust. But if we want to build our nation and our continent, we must build trust. We must trust each other. And he cited an example that I should trust you irrespective of where you're coming from. You don't belong to my family, whatever, but you have the competencies and what it takes to provide the solutions. Then we should work together. And so these are some of the thoughts that he shared with us that I think we should pick up and have a national discourse on them, and draw some strategies of how we can approach and apply them. And I think that the stage has been set for us as a people to start chewing on some of these things that will help our development. So this is the first one, and we intend to make it an annual lecture. So every year we would scan our environment and see some of the topics and themes and subjects that we should bring up for a conversation. And I think that will be a contribution to our national development effort as a people, as a church, as an agency of the church. For this year, we're looking at the role of the church and the state in shaping the paradigm of thought leadership for Africa. So, and Dr. Tabo turned it around beautifully and said he was looking at how to solve our challenges as the church and the state. And he went into some historical background, gave us some interesting history, how all these have been formed. And he talked about the 4 layers, if you recall, and all of that, and also gave some solutions. And I think that going forward, we would look at even some of the things he has said and reshape, reform, and add more flesh to them, and then present for another conversation.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Abraham Niamati Mensah, and I was privileged to attend the inaugural lecture of the Central Aid. And one of the few takeaways I took was Doug did a brilliant presentation by addressing Africa's problem and some of the solutions. He did talk about how colonialism is a problem and how we can change that. And one of the solutions I did take was for the fact that Africa has to be forward thinking. We have to think forward. Africa and especially Ghana is very steeped in tradition. We hear popular terms like Amamre and Seno and all that, but we need to think ahead, look ahead, and not mismanage our present opportunities. A quote attributed to Dr. Otabel says that if people have no hope for the future, they mismanage their present opportunities. So as people of Africa, as Ghanaians, we have to be forward thinking, build plans, have a national development plan that in this number of years we seek to improve, and we know that Africa and the story of Ghana will change for the better.
Andrew Anoche Chamati, and then I am a young leader. Today's lecture by Dr. Mensah Otabo was a very profound one, very revelating one. He really gave us a deep understanding on who the African is and how far we have come. And I think that one of the things that is a key takeaway for me is the fact that for us to be able to solve our problems, we need to think beyond our problems being a leadership problem, but then our problems being deep-rooted in culture. And then one of the things that we need to change as part of our culture is the culture of not being able to be accurate and precise. In Africa and in Ghana for that matter, we end up borrowing other or the Westerners culture, and then we also end up not really giving precise definitions to the things that we want to do. So it has really affected or reflected in the things that we do, the things we plan, our cities, our towns, our communities, and all that. And so today's lecture helps us to know what we need to do, which is culture going beyond just our food, our dance, our festivals, but then the inner values that we need to cultivate as Africans and as Ghanaians. And I think that when we do that, we would be able to really tackle the fundamental and then the foundational problem, which is that we need to be able to have a precise and accurate culture moving forward. We need to be precise on the things that we want for ourselves and for the nation at large. And one thing that really was the icing on the cake for me, and for me as a Christian, is the fact that which people are supposed to start this. And I believe with what he said that the church needs to start this transformation. The church needs to start with the changing of the culture that has really been a part of us. And when we do that, we will be able to transform our nation, we'll be able to transform our continent.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.